Have you ever wondered what happens to your body in those final moments? What science has discovered about the exact process of dying will shock you. Today we're diving deep into the 10 scientific levels of how your body shuts down. And I guarantee level 8 will make you question everything you thought you knew about death. But we won't stop there, because what happens after clinical death might be even more mysterious. From cellular persistence to what science says about near-death experiences and brain echoes, this is a journey you'll never forget. Death isn't just flipping a switch. It's a complex biological cascade that unfolds in precise stages, and modern science has mapped out exactly what happens at each level. From the very first cellular changes to the final moments when your brain activity ceases, your body follows a remarkably predictable pattern that's both fascinating and terrifying. But here's what most people don't realize. Some of these levels can actually be reversed. That's right, there's a point where you're technically dying, but medical intervention can still bring you back. The question is, which level is the point of no return? Stick around because we're about to explore each stage in detail, and the answers might surprise you. Let's start at level 0, where everything begins to go wrong. This is the initial trigger phase, where something catastrophic happens to your body. Maybe it's a heart attack, severe trauma, massive blood loss, or organ failure. At this level, your body is still fighting hard to maintain normal function, but the damage has begun. Your heart might still be beating strongly, your brain is fully conscious, and you might not even realize how serious the situation is. The scary part about level 0 is that it can be completely silent. People having heart attacks often don't feel the classic chest pain we see in movies. Instead, they might just feel tired or have mild discomfort. Your body is incredibly good at masking early problems, which is why this level is so dangerous. Moving to level 1, this is when your body's alarm systems start activating. Your sympathetic nervous system kicks into overdrive, flooding your bloodstream with adrenaline and other stress hormones. Your heart rate spikes, your blood pressure changes dramatically, and you might start sweating profusely. This is your body's fight-or-flight response trying desperately to compensate for whatever's going wrong. At this stage, you'll definitely know something is wrong. You might feel panic, confusion, or an overwhelming sense of doom. Many people describe feeling like they're about to die, and scientifically speaking, they're not wrong. Your body is screaming warnings that something catastrophic is happening. Level 2 brings us to the compensation phase, where your body starts making serious sacrifices to keep vital organs functioning. Blood flow gets redirected away from less critical areas like your skin, muscles, and digestive system, and gets shunted toward your brain, heart, and lungs. This is why people in shock often look pale and feel cold. Their body is literally stealing blood from their extremities. Your breathing might become rapid and shallow as your body tries to get more oxygen into your system. You might feel dizzy or lightheaded as your blood pressure struggles to maintain adequate circulation to your brain. This is your body's last-ditch effort to buy time for the most important organs. At level 3, we enter what scientists call the decompensation phase. This is where your body's backup systems start failing. Your blood pressure begins dropping significantly, and your organs aren't getting enough oxygen and nutrients to function properly. Your kidneys might stop producing urine, your skin becomes mottled and cold, and your mental state starts deteriorating. This is often when people become confused or agitated. The lack of oxygen to the brain causes thinking to become clouded, and personality changes are common. Family members often notice that their loved one doesn't seem like themselves anymore. The person might not recognize familiar faces or might say things that don't make sense. This is often when medical teams begin discussing interventions like vasopressors, intubation, and dialysis, tools meant to artificially support failing systems. But even these can only buy limited time. Level 4 is where things get really serious. This is when multiple organ systems start shutting down simultaneously. Your liver can't process toxins effectively, your kidneys stop filtering waste from your blood, and your lungs struggle to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. The medical term for this is multiple organ dysfunction syndrome, and it's often irreversible. At this stage, even with intensive medical care, the chances of recovery drop dramatically. Your body has crossed a threshold where the damage is so extensive that even if doctors can temporarily stabilize you, the underlying problems continue to worsen. It's like trying to stop a dam from bursting when there are already multiple cracks spreading throughout the structure. Level 5 brings us to severe hypoxia, where your brain and other organs are being severely starved of oxygen. This is when you might experience what people describe as seeing a bright light or having an out-of-body experience. These aren't supernatural phenomena. They're the result of your dying brain releasing massive amounts of chemicals and your visual cortex misfiring as it shuts down. Your breathing becomes very irregular at this stage, often following what doctors call Cheney-Stokes breathing patterns. Periods of rapid breathing followed by complete pauses that can last up to 30 seconds. Your heart rhythm becomes unstable, and you might slip in and out of consciousness. Researchers believe near-death experiences like tunnel vision and life flashbacks may be linked to surges in neurotransmitters like DMT or glutamate, as the dying brain tries to maintain function with its last reserves. Now we reach level 6, where your body enters what's called the active dying phase. Your circulation has become so poor that your hands and feet turn blue or purple. Your breathing becomes extremely labored, and you might make rattling sounds as fluid accumulates in your lungs. Your body temperature starts dropping as your metabolism slows dramatically. This is often the most difficult stage for family members to witness. The person might seem to be struggling or in distress, but medical experts believe that consciousness is usually very limited at this point. The body's natural pain-blocking mechanisms are typically activated, providing some comfort during this difficult transition. Recent studies using fMRI have shown faint auditory cortex activity even in patients minutes before cardiac death. So when loved ones whisper, "We're here," the brain may still register it. Profoundly human and haunting. Level 7 is where your brain activity starts showing significant changes on monitoring equipment. Your EEG patterns become abnormal, showing that different parts of your brain are shutting down in a specific sequence. Interestingly, some of the last areas to shut down are those responsible for hearing, which is why medical professionals often encourage families to continue talking to their loved ones, even at this late stage. Loss of reflexes like pupil response, gag reflex, and pain withdrawal confirm central nervous system failure. EEG becomes isoelectric, a flatline. Yet brainstem function may linger momentarily. Level 8 is where we see the final breakdown of cellular function throughout your body. Your cells can no longer produce energy effectively, and toxic waste products start accumulating rapidly. Your immune system has essentially shut down, making you vulnerable to infections that your body would normally fight off easily. What's particularly fascinating about this level is that different types of cells die at different rates. Your brain cells are among the most sensitive to oxygen loss and start dying within minutes, while your heart muscle can sometimes continue beating weakly for much longer. Your skin and connective tissues are among the most resilient and can remain viable for hours after other systems have failed. Level 9 represents the cessation of measurable brain activity. This is when the EEG flatlines, indicating that your brain is no longer generating detectable electrical activity. However, this doesn't necessarily mean all brain function has stopped immediately. Some deep brain structures might continue minimal function for a short time, but conscious thought and awareness are gone. Your breathing typically stops completely at this level, though your heart might continue beating irregularly for several more minutes. This is why medical professionals don't pronounce death immediately when breathing stops. They wait to ensure that cardiac activity has also ceased and cannot be restored. Brain death is legally equivalent to death in many countries. Finally, level 10 is clinical death, the complete cessation of all vital functions. Your heart stops beating, your brain shows no electrical activity, and your body temperature begins dropping toward room temperature. But here's the fascinating part. Even at this stage, individual cells throughout your body might continue functioning for minutes or even hours. Death is no longer a moment, but a process. Organs can be preserved for hours with techniques like hypothermic perfusion or even cryonics. Scientists are exploring how to extend viability for transplants and possibly future revival. Your hair and nails might continue growing slightly, and some cellular processes continue until the cells completely run out of stored energy. This is why organ donation is possible even after clinical death. Many organs remain viable for transplantation if they're harvested quickly enough. What makes this entire process so remarkable is how precisely it follows these stages, regardless of what initially triggered the dying process. Whether it's disease, injury, or old age, your body follows this same general pathway as it shuts down. Understanding these levels isn't just academic curiosity, it has real implications for medical care and end-of-life decisions. Knowing where someone is in this process helps doctors and families make informed choices about treatment options and comfort care. Your body doesn't give up easily. It fights through each of these levels using every backup system and survival mechanism available before finally letting go. Which level surprised you most? Do you think science will ever reverse death beyond level 8? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.